Hello, and welcome to my review of WWE Royal Rumble 2025. Let me just glance and make sure my microphone's picking up. It is indeed. Oh boy, what a show. We've got a lot to get through. It's just gone 3:30 in the morning for me here. Let's get the show on the road. We started the show off with Stephanie McMahon, welcoming everyone to it, and of course doing the obligatory Netflix shill. I joked about it when I was talking about the first Raw on Netflix, but I genuinely think there might be a deal in place with Netflix where they're paid per mention of the fact that they're on Netflix. Because even when in the US this was broadcast on Peacock, Stephanie still shilled the fact that it's on Netflix internationally. Like, I'm convinced there's like some sort of bonus system in place or something. Then we had the Pat McAfee cold open. I'll be honest, I didn't pay a lot of attention to it. It seemed fine. It was a bit meta. It was Pat McAfee talking about whether or not he could do a cold open, and then they did some stuff, and I don't know. Anyway, first match, Women's Royal Rumble match. So I made a note of all the entrants and all the eliminations, but I'm just gonna go through like more crucial points. Like, I'm not going to do too much play-by-play because, one, it'll take a long time, and two, you'll get a better experience by just watching the show, to be honest, than me talking you through it. So, first few out was Io, Sky, Liv Morgan, Roxanne Perez, and then Lyra Valkyria, who had a bit of a wardrobe malfunction. Like, literally the strap that tied her top up came off. And so they did, I think what was an improvised spot where Liv knocked her down into the corner. And then, I swear to God, it took a referee, like, a good minute to realize, hang on, I can go and help this person because I can see behind her neck to reattach whether it's tied or clasps or whatever, buttons, studs, whatever. Like, however it's tied, it's easier to do like this on the back of someone's head than it is to do like this on the back of your own neck, right? But whatever. Anyway, Chelsea Green, B-Fab, Ivy Nile, Zoe Stark, why did I forget her surname? Lash Legend. And then we got 9 women in the Rumble before we got 1 elimination, which is kind of crazy. You don't get that a whole lot, actually. This Rumble was full a lot of the time, actually. There was a lot of moments where the ring was quite full. The first elimination was Chelsea Green eliminating B-Fab after B-Fab and Lash Legend big booted each other. Chelsea Green like jumped on it and tossed B-Fab out, and then tried to toss Lash out as well, but that didn't work. Next in was Bianca, who did like this 4-person stack in the corner. I can't remember who was in it now. Liv was in it. I think Io was the first one, maybe, where she got one in the corner. I think it was Io first and did the 10 punches in the corner. And then I've just realized how much lower my camera is. I've got to be careful not to go out of frame. Yeah, so she's doing that. Then she backflips over. I think like Liv was maybe second. And then she gets back in. She runs in, shoulder tackles, then climbs back up and starts punching Liv. And then backflips over someone else and runs in and punches them. And then backflips and punches them. Yeah, fun little spot, I guess. Next in was Shayna. Ivy now then eliminated Lyra Valkyria, which obviously they've been building a little bit of a feud, I think, over the IC title. So that's obviously going to be an IC title match at some point. Ivy's going to be like, look, I eliminated you. I want a shot at the title. I fully believe Lyra Valkyria retains there, but it's just worth noting. Bailey next, Sonya Deville. I made a note, actually, here. That was the final member of Pure Fusion Collective, by the way. All 3 of them were in. I made a note here. I can't remember which spot made me think of this, but some of the multi-woman spots, and I put have been pants. Like, they just weren't smoothly enough executed to make them look like a thing that happened in a wrestling match. They just look like a bunch of people setting up a spot and then executing it. And I know, we all know wrestling's choreographed and we all know it's, it's not a real fight. I get that. But it still shouldn't be like this transparent. That's like saying, oh, it doesn't matter that this fight scene in a movie looks rubbish because we know it's just a movie. We know they're not really fighting. No one says that. Like, and I think wrestling should be held to those sort of standards. If anything, I'd say wrestling is generally better than most fight scenes in most movies as a choreographed fight demonstration. So yeah, we should hold them to that standard, I would say. Next out was Maxine Dupree, who went on a mini rampage of sorts and eliminated Ivy Nile, and then Pure Fusion Collective eliminated Maxine Dupree. Next out was Naomi. Now, I'll let you know the way I noted this, because I tried to remember because there was so much going on, but I lost track of which member was being eliminated by whom. So I've got Bianca and Naomi eliminated P, Bailey eliminated F, and Io eliminated C. Because they eliminated PFC, but I could not tell you which one was which in terms of the eliminations. But they all got eliminated basically simultaneously. It sort of went Bianca and Naomi, Bailey, Io on separate sides of the ring, like really quick succession, like singular digit seconds between each. Next out was Jada Parker from NXT. Then Chelsea Green did eliminate Lash Legend. Lash was trying to form a bit of an alliance with Jada Parker and then kicked her by accident. I think she was going for Chelsea, and then while she was shocked by it, Chelsea just eliminated her. Out comes Piper Niven to save Chelsea because she was being confronted by, I think it was it Bianca and Naomi? Was it just them two? She was outnumbered anyway. And then soon after, Piper Niven actually eliminated Chelsea Green while she was trying to save her from Naomi. Bianca dragged Naomi out the way, and Piper just ran headlong into Chelsea, which I must call into question Piper's plan there, because Naomi was trying to eliminate Chelsea. So Chelsea's on the apron, Naomi's inside the ropes, and Piper's plan was to run full on into Naomi, which would surely just have knocked Naomi into Chelsea and knocked Chelsea off the apron anyway. So I don't know if that was the best plan, Piper. Next out was Natalya, then Jordynne Grace, who may or may not be a WWE superstar now. I guess we'll find out soon. She eliminated Jada Parker. She did a roll through Death Valley Driver on Piper Niven, and Pat McAfee on commentary, which you don't hear the commentators do this a lot, went, holy shit. And it just tickled me. And the fans were chanting it as well, and I think it was Michael Cole was like, yep, they heard you, Pat, and it was like, okay. But it was quite funny. Naomi and Jordynne, because obviously Naomi spent some time in TNA as Trinity, they shared a hug, and then Bianca broke it up and got a little bit angry at it just for a brief second. It wasn't like a major spot, but it was just something worth noting in that potential saga with Naomi, Bianca, and Jade when she returns. Mia Yim, I refuse to call her Mijin, came out next. Then Alexa Bliss came out to an insane pop. Was it the loudest pop I've ever heard? No. Was it the longest pop I've ever heard? Quite possibly. It was so long. Like, everyone cheered, and it was really cool. And then everyone was just still cheering, and still cheering, and still cheering, and still cheering. It was crazy how long this pop went on for. Like, genuinely, watch it back. It was like her entire entrance, and she walked all the way along that. And the pop didn't, like, fade. Maybe a little bit from the initial, like, way, but then it stayed at, like, it went to here, went to here, and then it dropped to only about there, out of a scale of down to here, of course, and then just stayed there. It was crazy. Anyway, next out was Zelina Vega, Candice LeRae, Stephanie Vaquer, or Vaquer, I think it's Vaquer, and Michael Cole's just a bad influence. Trish was out to a much smaller pop than Alexa Bliss, I must say. Raquel Rodriguez was out next, and then, with help from Raquel, Liv eliminated Natalya and Alexa Bliss. Everyone cheered when Natty got eliminated by Liv, but everyone booed the hell out of it when she then eliminated Alexa Bliss. Like, the fans were all in on Alexa Bliss at this show, like, big time. And you know what? Rightly so. She deserves it. She's been off for a long, long time. It's great to see her back. Yeah. Out next was Charlotte Flair, who got pyro, and commentary even mentioned it, and I put, like Cody last year, which is when I realised maybe my prediction was wrong, and yeah, Charlotte Flair was just going to win this one, because one does not simply get pyro in a Royal Rumble entrance. Charlotte Flair eliminated Mia Yim, who eliminated Piper Niven, and then Julia came in, and then eliminated Jordynne Grace. Nia Jax came in. She eliminated Zelina Vega before she even got into the match. Zelina was out on the apron fighting for her life, and Nia just yanked her off the apron. Trish eliminated Candice LeRae. Nia eliminated Trish with an assist from Candice soon after. And then number 30, and I was thinking, it's got to be Becky Lynch or Jade Cargill, right? I was kind of expecting both. It was Nikki Bella. Which it's fun, I guess. But it's not Jade Cargill returning. It's certainly not Becky Lynch returning. Like, come on. Anyway, Nia then eliminated Stephanie Vaquer, Io Sky, Bianca Belair, Naomi, Raquel Rodriguez, and Liv in like super quick succession. They're really piling on the Nia's the most dominant in Women's Rumble history thing. Like, her and Rhea were tied coming into this. I think Nia eliminated like at least 8 people in this Rumble, so she's way ahead in the rankings now. Roxanne Perez, who came in at number 3, might I remind you, eliminated Julia next. Charlotte Flair, I think, eliminated Bayley. Someone eliminated Bayley. I kind of missed it. I thought it might have been Nia, but I think Nia's count was off. So I think it must have been Charlotte. Nia then eliminated Nikki Bella. Charlotte Flair eliminated Nia, which really surprised me that the final 2 was Charlotte Flair and Roxanne Perez. It kind of telegraphed Charlotte's win a bit, but it was cool to see Roxanne Perez go from number 3 to final 2. And for a split second, I tried to allow myself to hope that Perez would win, but no, Charlotte Flair wins. Charlotte Flair wins, lol. She's been back 1 match. She was off for the entirety of 2024. She comes back, she has 1 match, it's the Royal Rumble, she wins it, a second one. Boo. I predicted Nia to win. Charlotte was my other pick. I should have gone with Charlotte, obviously. 0 out of 1. Royal Rumbles are so hard to predict. More on that later. Up next was the 2 out of 3 Falls Tag Team Championship match between Motor City Machine Guns challenging DIY for the titles. The first fall I really liked. Really clever. So they're doing the hot tag bit. They get the hot tag. Except Johnny Gargano moves his hand out of the way, so Ciampa doesn't actually tag him in, but he comes in as if he's been tagged in. Alex Shelley thinks that Johnny's been tagged in, so he's going after Johnny Gargano, who then pushes him into Ciampa, who has already pulled his knee pad down for an early spot, knees him in the jaw and pins him. And I was like, that was really good. I don't think I've ever seen that spot. I certainly haven't seen it for a long time. Someone let me know in the comments if you've seen that before, but I don't think I've ever seen that spot. So yeah, that was really fun. The second fall was just a straightforward Motor City Machine Guns hit Skull and Bones on Johnny Gargano, and Alex Shelley pinned him. And then for the final fall, the Street Profits, well, a guy in a hoodie and Angelo Dawkins, so I wonder who the guy in the hoodie is, came out. And the guy in the hoodie, the mystery man, distracted the ref, I think, and then Angelo Dawkins hit Alex Shelley with a crutch, and then DIY hit the meat in the middle and then pinned Alex Shelley 1, 2, 3. I predicted them to retain, so 1 out of 2 now. Obviously the mystery man was revealed to be Montez Ford. Who knew? By the way, in this match, Alex Shelley got a busted nose. Johnny Gargano was bleeding from the mouth at one point. Ciampa was bloody at the end of the match. They were working this stiff. Like, they were working stiff in this one. My goodness. 3 out of the 4 were busted. Anyway, after the match, the Street Profits laid out DIY with the crutch and just a general post-match attack, which was explained well on commentary, because I do think it was maybe a little unclear why the Street Profits, having been taken out by DIY, would then help them. But the narrative is like the Stone Cold Owen Hart narrative, if you remember that from way back in the day, where it's like, yeah, I want my title, or in this case titles, back, but I want to beat you for them because you're the one who took me out. So I want to take those titles off you. So I'm going to help you retain the titles so I get a shot at you. Of course, I imagine we're going to get Street Profits versus Motor City Machine Guns before we get to Street Profits versus DIY. Just because the Machine Guns aren't exactly going to be happy, are they, about what Street Profits did. So yeah. Anyway, like I said, 1 out of 2. Next match, Kevin Owens versus Cody Rhodes for the undisputed WWE Championship in a ladder match. I know he's won this one before, but I just want to point out again, Kevin Owens' t-shirt game is on point as always at the moment. He had his Canadian Dream son of a security systems technician shirt on. Magic. I love it. I absolutely love it. Obviously, a parodying Dusty's classic Son of a Plumber t-shirt. Yeah, just incredible stuff. Like, absolutely great. I love the fact that Kevin Owens cuts better promos by simply wearing a t-shirt than like half of the WWE, AEW, TNA, whoever roster like cuts actually into a microphone. He doesn't even have to speak, and he's already cut a better promo than like half of the wrestlers on mainstream American TV at the moment. It's crazy. the crowd was way into this. Like, the opening bell, they were raucous. They were chanting some stuff. I don't even think you could really understand, because I think all different people were chanting all different stuff, but there was just this cacophony of noise. It was genuinely seemed like a great atmosphere. Anyway, ladder match. Lots of nasty stuff involving ladders happened. There was a grim spot where Kevin Owens got back body dropped onto like a ladder that wasn't flat. It was like turned that way and opened out a tiny bit so it'd stay stood up. And he got back body dropped onto that. Don't like that. Ugh. Yeah, it made me cringe, and it made me cringe just then as well. Then later in the match, Kevin Owens, obviously the unsuperplexable, did a reverse superplex through the ladder bridge between like one of the bottom rungs and the bottom rope to Cody, but he banged the back of his head off that ladder, and they did a big medical spot, which I'm not sure if it was even a spot at first, but once they established both men could actually continue, it turned into a spot. Sami Zayn was out checking on Owens. He checked briefly on Cody as well, because he's like friends with both guys. Then once both men could carry on going, they spilt to the outside. Cody Rhodes I think he hit like a crossroads as a counter to like a stunner when Owens tried to capitalize after they eventually carried on with the match. They went to the outside, and Cody Rhodes was like bouncing Kevin's head off the announce table, and Kevin Owens was busted open. I don't know if like he bladed just before that spot started, or if it was like hard way, because he looked like he was just full on headbutting the announce table, if I'm being perfectly honest. It looked pretty legit. And then he got sent into the ring post, and he looked like he headbutted that as well. Like, just for funsies, I guess. He's a nutter, isn't he, Kevin Owens, in the best possible way. And then, speaking of him being a nutter, he agreed to take an Alabama slam off the announce table through that ladder bridge. He basically landed head first with his head between two rungs of the ladder. Like, I assume he's okay by the fact that he wasn't immediately stretched out of there. And he was still selling at the end of Cody's, like, celebration, because obviously after that he stayed there and Cody grabbed the belts. Which I predicted Cody to retain. I anticipated this to be good, because Cody Rhodes is great. Kevin Owens is, like, an all-timer for me. Like, so I knew this was going to be really good. I don't think I anticipated how good and how crazy this would actually be. Yeah, great stuff by both. But special shout out to Kevin Owens. He took some of the really gnarliest stuff in that match, like, over and over again. It was truly crazy. Cody had a lovely character moment yelling he wanted this at Sami Zayn after the match, while Sami's, like, obviously concerned for Kevin, which is fair. Kevin Owens did want that. Then there was an advert after this match for WWE Evolve. Where have I heard that name before? So I guess WWE bought Evolve at some point, and now they're bringing it back as if it's their own idea, and it's like a pre-NXT. So now NXT has a developmental, which is Evolve. Which I guess could have just been what Evolve always was, and you didn't need to buy it. You could have just had like a working relationship with them, but no, we've got to own everything. Anyway, blah, rant. I'll tell you what, this show, by the way, this is the point where it started to annoy me, so I made a note about it. This show reminded me of some of the early Saudi shows. How, you might ask? The level of propaganda. Like, they were going on about Indianapolis all throughout the show, like, bigging it up. Pat McAfee obviously loves it there because he played a lot of his career there or whatever, and, like, fine. But it was, like, propaganda levels of, like, how great is this place. It really did remind me of the early Saudi shows where they obviously had to, like, really big up how great Saudi Arabia is as part of the deal. And it came across as really disingenuous. This kind of came across the same way eventually because they did it so much throughout the show. We cut to Joe Tessitore, or Tessitore, I always forget, and Big E. But they didn't switch the audio channel, so we could barely hear them. Big E said something about, can John Cena win the Royal Rumble? And I didn't really hear anything else. And I had my headphones on. I was listening through headphones, and I couldn't really hear them. So rip to anyone just watching on TV, I guess. Anyway, it was men's Rumble time. Whew. So they started with Ray, and I immediately called it that it was going to be Penta, and it was. Wonderful decision. Lots of fun starting with those two. Really early on, though, really questionable spot. I haven't watched it back, but did both of Penta's feet touch the ground outside the ring before entry number 3 even came in? A lot of fans seem to think so, especially those that were at ringside. Now, obviously, the referee said no. But that's their job to say no, because they know Penta's supposed to go 40-odd minutes in this Rumble. So, but A lot of the fans that were nearby seemed to think so by the reaction. Be interesting to watch it back. Anyway, out third was Chad Gable, obviously, like, building into his story of doesn't like fighting luchadors, has a bad time against luchadors. Fourth was Carmelo Hayes. Fifth was Santos Escobar. Sixth was Otis. Seventh was Bron Breakker, who was the first man in this match that was 6 foot or above, and he's 6 foot. He's 6 foot bang on, apparently. Like, I didn't realize, like, I actually I had a thought about how tiny a lot of the women were in the women's match, but the first 6 men, which, by the way, there's nothing wrong with being under 6 foot. It's funny how much wrestling has adapted from the days when it was like Land of the Giants. Like now, you know, just like Rey Mysterio's won a Royal Rumble from number 2. Penta went 40-odd minutes. You know, like, they were like the stars of the show. Carmelo Hayes is pegged for greatness, you know. Chad Gable probably should have been and just hasn't been. Bron Breakker's probably a future world champion, and he's just about, you know, reaching the 6 foot mark. It's just a different world of professional wrestling, and I'm here for it because they're still big guys. They're still really impressively large, scary men, and it's a good mix instead of it just being, oh, everyone's kind of big and this guy's a bit bigger, so we're going to portray him as being, ooh, really big. And it's like, well, yeah, but the guy he's bullying, the David in this David versus Goliath is 6'8", so it's hard to feel a lot of sympathy for this man. He's 6'8" and 300 pounds. Anyway, so Bron Breakker came in, he eliminated Carmelo Hayes, he eliminated Santos Escobar, then Akira Tozawa came out and got attacked with a singular forearm to the back of the neck by Carmelo Hayes, and apparently couldn't enter the Rumble. It's probably for the best he didn't enter the Rumble, because I reckon you might have got hit with more than one forearm in that Royal Rumble and just died. So it's probably for the best someone that fragile didn't get into the Royal Rumble. They did a bit backstage with like, well, we have to replace him and Triple H goes, Speed, which is I Show Speed, the YouTuber, streamer, whatever he is. I don't really know him either. You go out and I Show Speed's like, what? And he goes out and then I Show Speed gets in the ring and he and Bron Breakker team up to eliminate Otis. And then Speed celebrates, does a very nice looking backflip, by the way, and then gets speared out of his Crocs. I mean, he kept the Crocs, but nearly out of his Crocs, and eliminated by Bron Breakker soon after. Oh, and he got thrown out, caught by Otis, who then follow-away slammed him over the announce table, so he actually hit the floor by the barricade where the announcers usually sit, which was quite funny. He got launched twice. He took some hits. The spear was gnarly as well, by the way. Like, credit to him. Like, I don't know the guy's content, and from what little I do know, I don't really care for the guy, but credit to him for taking the hits. Must have been a fun moment, like, you know, but he agreed to some bumps. By the way, at this point, 4 people have been eliminated, and Bron Breakker has eliminated 3 of them and co-eliminated the other one. He's doing everything in this Rumble so far. Out next is Sheamus, Jimmy Uso. I noticed at this point, Bron Breakker left the ring briefly. He just disappeared. And I was like, he's getting checked over. I hope he's okay. Like, I don't know what hurt him, but something was bothering him. But he got back in during Andrade's entrance, who was number 11. So I guess, and he carried on with the match. Like, so I guess he was fine, but something was obviously bothering him. 12th, we had Jacob Fatu, who came in and eliminated Chad Gable, Rey Mysterio, Andrade, and just was great. I love Jacob Fatu. He's future world champion, surely. If he's not, I don't know what they did. If you're watching this years into the future and he's not ever been world champion, tell me what they did wrong in the comments, because I need to know. Ludwig Kaiser was out 13th, took his time getting in, and then when he did eventually get in, Penta eliminated him immediately. I guess that's Penta's next big singles match, which will be a really fun match, so I'm here for that. Then came The Miz, then Joe Hendry, nice, and then Roman Reigns, who got pyro, but I wasn't fooled by your Cody Rhodes, Charlotte Flair trickery. Roman Reigns wasn't winning the Rumble. I didn't believe Roman Reigns was going to win the Rumble. I really didn't. He came in and eliminated Miz, Sheamus, Joe Hendry, and Bron Breakker, which, by the way, that last one, was a bit nonsensy because Breaker actually beat him to the punch with the little dueling spears thing they tried to do. Breaker hit the spear, went to eliminate Reigns, and Reigns just reversed him and threw him out as if like Braun Breaker's spear is nothing, which I didn't like that. Jacob Fatu then eliminated Jimmy Uso. Out next was Drew McIntyre. Finn Balor, how long's he had that music? It's rubbish. Give him his old music back. The dark remix of his NXT music was great. Like, give him that back. Speaking of great remixes of old NXT themes, Shinsuke Nakamura was next. And then Finn Balor eliminated Penta by countering a Destroyer, which was fun. So Penta went for the Destroyer. Finn kind of caught him and just sort of launched him out. It was launched him out. It was pretty fun. Jey Uso was out next and came in and eliminated Nakamura pretty quickly. Then at 21, AJ Styles is back. Hell yeah. I genuinely thought he was out for ages, if not done. Like, that injury he suffered in that match with Carmelo Hayes looked nasty. And from all reports of, like, what kind of injury it was and people who've had that kind of injury and stuff, they were like, that's a long recovery. So maybe it turned out to not be as bad an injury as we thought or something, but that was a really cool moment. Welcome back, AJ. I'm glad he's doing okay. Out next was Braun Strowman, who came back within a week from an absolutely brutal beatdown by Jacob Fatu. So, I mean, I guess it was fun to have him in the Rumble, but I would personally have had him sell that injury from Fatu a bit longer. But no, Braun came in and eliminated Jacob Fatu with a power slam, which, to be fair, I predicted as soon as his music hit. I was like, oh, he's here to eliminate Fatu. Jacob Fatu went mental at ringside. Michael Cole said on commentary, he is the scary bastard, which really tickled me. Because just like you don't hear me swear a lot on YouTube, you don't hear the commentators swear a lot on WWE, so it's just fun when they do bust it out, because it has more impact when they do it, right? Out next was John Cena, who came in and eliminated Braun Strowman. And then eliminated Finn with an AA that Braun completely botched the catch. So I hope Finn's okay, by the way, because the landing looked a bit ropey. But Braun Strowman he didn't even check on Finn. He just had a strop at the fact that he'd failed. Like, right in front of the camera was like here. And he just and stormed off. And it was just like, come on, my dude. For one, you're a grown man. And two, you're supposed to be like a professional. You've been a world champion in the biggest pro wrestling company to ever have existed. Like, a bit of professionalism, my dude. Anyway, CM Punk was out next. Interrupted the Roman Reigns Cena stare down that we were getting, wearing his pink trunks. So CM Punk was here. No contact was made by anyone between CM Punk getting in the ring and Seth Rollins' music hitting at number 25. Which, by the way, gave us a crazy 7, which I believe at the time was CM Punk, John Cena, Roman Reigns, AJ Styles, Jey Uso, Seth Rollins, who'd just come out, I should have remembered him, and Drew McIntyre, of course, yeah. So I was just looking up through the group, and he was one of the longest to go to come in. But yeah, that's a crazy 7 guys to have just casually in a Royal Rumble at the same time, right? Number 26 was Dom. Which genuinely made me laugh. Like, that was great. It's kind of a shame he lasted a while. It would have been much funnier if he'd just got, like, beaten about by them and then chucked out. Or even just chucked out. Like, you know, like, no, sir. Out. Next was Sami Zayn, which, again, the hits keep coming. Like, honestly, Damian Priest after that, who then eliminated Dom. LA Knight after that. And then Jay eliminated Sami Zayn. So Drew had put Zayn onto the apron. And then Jay went to super kick Drew. And Drew moved out of the way. So he kicked Sami Zayn off the apron and accidentally eliminated him. Which I think is going to feed into the Sami Zayn needs to be a bit more selfish story. You know, like... even though it was obviously an accident, it's these sort of things that will play on his mind. Are we eventually just getting heel Sami Zayn? From this, I guess, maybe. Anyway, draw number 30, everyone probably knew because he was officially declared. Logan Paul, yay. Damian Priest eliminated Drew McIntyre, seemingly quite randomly. Like, it seemed like there was very little build to Drew getting eliminated there. Drew McIntyre, no, not Drew McIntyre, that's who I was just talking about. Logan Paul was on the apron under pressure from, I think, LA Knight, and jumped to the announce table, which was pretty cool. Everyone knows he can do that. There's a lot of people who can do that, but it was still pretty cool. And then while he's faffing about on the announce table, LA Knight eliminated Damian Priest again, seemingly a bit out of nowhere. AJ Styles eliminated LA Knight, a little bit out of nowhere. And then Logan Paul jumped to the barricade and then to the ring steps. And then as AJ was thrown over the top onto the apron, and as he was lined up a phenomenal forearm, Logan Paul swiped him out and eliminated him. So yeah, there goes Styles. Then Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns were really going at it for a bit and then they were trying to eliminate each other, and Punk came over. I think Reigns was trying to eliminate Rollins, and Punk came and lifted Reigns over and did the old double elimination spot. And then while he was looking out at them, because for some reason people with decades of experience in professional wrestling stand at the ropes looking at people on the outside in an over-the-top rope battle royal scenario. I'll never understand it, but Logan Paul came up and eliminated CM Punk. How dare you? How dare you, Triple H? We can fall out, you know. We can fall out with your booking. Anyway, then all hell broke loose on the outside. Logan Paul fell over in the ring, it seemed, because when we cut back to the ring, all three of the remaining wrestlers were down, which Logan Paul was fine. He just eliminated CM Punk. I don't know what happened to Logan Paul. Maybe that was he had a drink of Prime. Maybe that was his post-Prime crash. I don't know. Maybe he needs one every sort of 30 seconds or something to keep his energy levels up. Anyway, yeah, so while they're down in the ring, all hell's breaking loose on the outside. Seth Rollins double stomped Roman Reigns in the head on the outside. I have no idea how that was safe. Like, how the hell was that safe? He just full on stood on the man's head. Like, I mean, obviously it was. But my God, I was fooled. Like, I was like, oh, did that go wrong? My first impression was that it was wrong, that it went wrong. But no, Reigns carried on taking spots after that. So, yeah, Punk and Rollins then had a brawl, and then Seth broke free and stomped Roman onto the steps, the bottom half of the steps, and then they all got separated and taken away. CM Punk kind of squared up, because Paul Heyman was like kneeling over Roman Reigns, all distraught, and CM Punk kind of stood over him and stared at him for a minute and then walked off. They're definitely going Punk Roman. Like, that's why I didn't pick CM Punk or Roman Reigns to win this Rumble. I was like, they're going Punk Roman. They're definitely going Punk Roman here. I have some thoughts on like how we're getting to WrestleMania for the end of this video, actually, so bear with me. So yeah, John Cena eliminated Logan Paul, ever the people's hero. Thank you, John. Great stuff. Get out. I was genuinely fearful that they might actually have had Logan Paul win that match. Like, when they got down to Final 3, I was like, you know, I could see them doing it. I could see it, and I really hope they haven't done it, but I could see it. And then Jay and John had a lovely back and forth little battle, little final two battle. They both end up on the apron. Cena picks Jay up for an AA. Jay drops down into the ring and then just pushes Cena off the apron and wins. And, well, okay, fortunately, I donned my mask to watch the Royal Rumbles in case of any big surprises and stuff, so I could get my reactions. And, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is no longer just a nickname. It is no longer a moniker. Jey Uso is truly the main event.
So that was my reaction. Genuinely could not believe that. I was like, okay, my prediction's definitely right. When it got down to Cena and Jay, I was like, when it got down to the final three, I was like, my prediction's probably right. When it got down to Cena and Jay, I was like, my prediction's 100% right. Cena's winning. And then that happened. And I'm still a little bit in shock. I'm happy. I'm not mad at that decision at all. Like, not upset in the slightest. Congrats, Jey Uso. Happy for that man. Big time. It deserves it. Look how popular he's gotten. But I just still can't believe they did it. Anyway, so yeah, I predicted 2 out of 4. Now, Jay seemingly the obvious route for Jay is to go after Gunther and want that rematch with Gunther to prove he can beat him and beat him at WrestleMania. So that's my early prediction, is that Jey Uso beats Gunther at WrestleMania. My other prediction is we've got a Cody Rhodes without a challenger, and we've got an Elimination Chamber PLE in between now and WrestleMania. And what do we think to a number one contenders Elimination Chamber with Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, Roman Reigns, CM Punk, John Cena, and Kevin Owens maybe? But if they've used this ladder match to maybe write Kevin Owens out for a while, LA Knight works. Who else works? Like, anyone in and around that tier, to be honest, works. AJ Styles is back, so AJ could go into that maybe. Damian Priest, actually. Damian Priest is probably the sixth, thinking about it. How star-studded would that chamber match be? Book it, Triple H, you coward. Book it, Paul. Yeah, so that's my kind of thoughts on how we get to WrestleMania. Which one of those goes to challenge Cody is kind of anyone's guess. Maybe Cena, maybe Punk, probably not Roman. No, in fact, no, not Punk or Roman, because they're going to fight each other. Maybe Seth? I don't know. Like, probably Cena out of that group, but still, like, that'd be a wild chamber, right? So yeah, let me know your thoughts on this show in the comments down below. What you liked, what you didn't like, what you predicted, what you didn't, what was the best moment of the night for you. For me, I think it's plain and simple just Jay winning, but also big shout outs to the brawl between Punk, Rollins, and Reigns. That was really well done and really cool. Alexa Bliss's entrance with the crowd just roaring the entire time. That was really good. Some of the big, huge bumps in the Owens-Rhodes match need a shout out. That tag team, the first fall in the tag team match, great moment. Like, really enjoyed that. There was great moments throughout the show, basically, top to bottom. I really enjoyed it. Disappointments, no Becky, no Jade, no AJ Lee. Not really any disappointments in the men's match. Who do you bring in as a surprise that tops, that even compares to that? I mean, they got AJ Styles, like, back from injury way too early, it seems. Like, how do you and Joe Hendry was the worst kept surprise ever. Everyone knew Joe Hendry was going to be in this, but it was still a really cool moment. But how do you top that? Like, I think they were wise not to try and do any other surprises, to be honest. But yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed this review. Subscribe so you don't miss my future wrestling content. I'm sure you'll love it here on this channel if you enjoyed this video, if you're still here. But for now, all I have left to say is thank you very much for watching. As always, I've been EBEZA, you've been amazing, and I'll see you next time.